And so what you're doing right now is you're bringing up the the water up to temp.
That's correct.
And what temperature do you go to?
For our coffee, it's 199 for most brewing methods.
Okay. And this is a pour over? Right?
Yeah, so this is a Hario switch. So it's actually blends a normal V60 pour over with a little switch, so it closes it off and it turns it into immersion brewer, kind of like a French press. Which is very neat. So the first pour is just a bloom pour, and as you can see, it's not pouring down through the thing because we've got the switch closed right now.
So would you say that's like steeping right now or something?
Yep.
Okay.
So we're doing a 30-second bloom with a total of 2.5 minutes steep.
So you pour the whole cup that you brought up to temp, and then you just drop it in, and then right now you're letting it steep, and then you'll flip your switch.
Then I'll flip the switch and
it'll do the pour over.
All the way down. Yeah. Kind of the body and texture of an immersion brew, like a French press or an AeroPress, but with the clarity of a paper filter, which is cool. And clarity in coffee is just how distinguished the flavors are in the coffee. If you can distinguish individual flavor notes, then that coffee has a lot of clarity.
So what kind of coffee are we using today?
So this coffee is my family's own coffee from our coffee plantation in Guatemala. The farm is called Finca Xejuyu, and it's been in my family for 5 generations with me now, and it's cupped always anywhere between 86 and 92, depending on the year, the harvest, the Q grader. The people that go out and like cup and grade the coffee so you know what to price your coffee at basically, and that kind of deal. Deep notes of dark chocolate, raspberry, and tangerine are typically what we get out of it. I call it the most approachably complex coffee. It's great on espresso, great on pour over, great on best I think in immersion brew, which is why I'm making it like this right now. Yeah.
Sweet. Your coffee that you started, bringing in from Guatemala from your family, that's 5 generations deep. How did you go from, your family doing this to you being like, I'm an enthusiast of this enough that I
didn't really know what I wanted to do in high school, so I started working for a local roaster in town, just as the only roaster in town for years, as a delivery boy, and that was really how I started looking at getting into coffee, specialty brewing. Was through that because I got to try coffee from all over the world, just whatever he happened to have that day. Worked for him for a couple of years, then finished high school, finished college, and slowly grew up my brew gear up to the point that it is now, and started to do it commercially.
Wow.
Yeah, I found a real passion for it, and then my wife Kathy, she's been a barista in just about every coffee shop in town, and now she does consulting for different shops, and also anybody who really just wants to know more about coffee.
All right, Kathy, I have a question for you.
Okay, what's up?
So how did y'all team up on this craziness that is bringing this coffee in and starting to distribute it beyond just having it at your coffee shop?
It was, honestly, I feel like my coffee experience was very opposite, because usually you go to a coffee shop and you have a latte, or you have some kind of coffee drink. My mom doesn't drink coffee. My grandparents, just had the simple pot. I literally learned coffee because his family invited me on a trip to the coffee farm. So that's how I basically was introduced into coffee, which was kind of mind-blowing. I'm at a coffee farm where I saw a plant, and kind of understanding a little bit more about coffee. Basically the opposite way, because it's A to Z.
So you came from never having heard of coffee.
Yeah, and then they're
and you were drinking orange juice for breakfast.
Yeah.
and then Gustavo was 5 generations deep.
Yep.
Yeah.
But y'all met somewhere in between of having this shared enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was mostly my experience, honestly, and I enjoyed it. I started enjoying it, but I also still wanted to be a barista. I guess I wanted to learn more about especially when it came to, you know, latte art and latte foam. Like, I'm definitely like versed in, like, I have education in this, but I feel like latte, like, especially whenever it comes to latte art, it's like a whole different kind of like ball game.
Milk science and all that.
Milk science, there we go.
Yeah. And she's definitely got the creative bone for it that I definitely do not. So.
Wow.
So you just kind of work together.
It's funny because I like to say that I had all the paper knowledge going in, but she had all the experience and actual skills and talents. So, you know, it's a combined effort for sure.
So it's like a match.
Yeah.
And so what do we got here now?
So now we have our coffee brewed as an immersion brew, using the Hario switch. So you can see the nice dry coffee bed at the bottom, perfectly flat, which is what we were shooting for. And yeah, so it's got a full body. It should get all the flavor notes. A little hot right now, but you can still slurp and taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, very chocolate.
Chocolate,